What's going on? Matt Savoca here from Awesemo.com, filling in for my buddy Josh Engelman and bringing you my top plays in the NBA on DraftKings for Saturday, March 26, 2022. An exciting 7-game main slate. Not going to be talking about that early tip-off game, which is the Spurs versus the Pelicans, but still a lot to dig into here with these exciting 7 games here. Before we dig in though, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that you always know when we're going live. You guys know what to do. We're rounding the corner to the end of the season. And if you could give me, Matt Savoca, a follow on Twitter at Draftaholic, that's always much appreciated as well. Also want to give one shout out to our presenting sponsor, No House Advantage. Look at that ad down at the bottom of the screen. You can get a first match deposit bonus. Start playing all those player props contests over there, up to $25 when you use promo code Awesemo. Okay, guys, on the screen here, you see my 10 through 6 of my top plays on DraftKings. At number 10 with a 15% chance of being in the optimal lineup, it's the Rockets' Kevin Porter Jr., followed by maybe the best player in the world, Nikola Jokic, a 16% chance of being in the optimal lineup. The only reason it's difficult is because right now we expect GIANNIS ANTETOKOUNMPO to play, and you really have to decide, especially on DraftKings, between one or the other there. Obviously, a strong chance of being in the optimal lineup, 16% chance. Then we're going to look at that Sacramento team who has tons of injuries, and that means new players playing new minutes here. We'll start with Davion Mitchell at 17% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Then OG Anunoby playing in his second game back since February 16th when he got injured here. He played about 24 minutes. We should see even more playing time going forward. He has just a slightly less chance of being in the optimal lineup as Sacramento's CHIMEZIE METU, who has a solid 24 fantasy point median projection at the salary of 4K. That's really why we want to play him. Nearly no chance of scoring 40-45 fantasy points here, but we need players at this low salary just to get us over the hump at 30 fantasy points, maybe 31 is our GPP goal, and he actually gets there 20% of the time and is in the optimal lineup 18% of the time. Not quite cracking the top 5, however. Who makes it? Let's watch him find out. At number 5, it's Cleveland big man Kevin Love, who continues to play plenty here in the injured front court for Cleveland. We got him projected at nearly 30 minutes, and over the last 10 games, he's at over 13.5 points, over 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. And honestly, we've got him projected for over that everywhere, mainly because he's been playing more. 16.5 points is our median projection for him, nearly 10 rebounds, so essentially a double-double, and 2.7 assists. We got him at a 50% chance of adding a steal, and a 30% chance of adding a block, a 12% chance of getting to the GPP goal of 47 points, and a solid 16% chance of just hitting that 45-plus fantasy point barrier that we usually look for in tournament-winning players. 6,500 is a solid salary, and 35 points is a median projection. We're going to need a little more than that if he's going to be in an optimal lineup, but still, 22% of the time, that's exactly what we're seeing. Good enough for number 5. At number 4, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and honestly, this is just decide who you want between him and Jokic, right? $200 salary differential, that's really not going to change things all that much. I guess if you're getting a little bit of a quote-unquote discount there, we're going to take it with Giannis. That's why he's showing up in the optimal lineup more. You're going to need a monster game for him to be really, really strong for you. But again, we're just hoping he hits that median value, about 62 points. That's what we got him projected at. That'll be just fine, because he just can't find players who do that in the NBA outside of maybe Jokic. We've got him projected at nearly 35, over 35 minutes now, over 32 points, 12.9 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.2 steals, 1.6 blocks, doing it all as you expect. And defensively, he might need to step up with Holiday already ruled out here. It's over 70 points here in 23% of our simulations. He's got a 3 in 10 chance of being in the optimal lineup. At number 3, Damian Jones. The Sacramento center continues to play more minutes than he has over the last 10 because Richaun Holmes has been ruled out for the rest of the season. And honestly, Sacramento is just full of injuries, and they're playing a terrible Orlando team who is bottom 5 in defensive rating in the NBA. You're going to need 4,400 salary players like Damian Jones to get to your premium salary players like Giannis or Jokic here. Honestly, a 30-point median median projection, 29 to be exact. Really solid for that 4,400 player. And again, just because of the low salary, you need 35 or maybe 40 points, and you feel really good about rostering him. He's even got a 9% chance of scoring 45 plus fantasy points. You know how big men rack up those fantasy points. It could absolutely happen here against a bad Orlando team. Obviously, large range of outcomes here. He could do nothing ultimately, and I'm only playing one of these budget Sacramento players, but still, Damian Jones looks appetizing at that low salary in the optimal lineup as much as Giannis 30% of the time. At number 2, it's Memphis wing Dillon Brooks at 5,800 here. We're expecting huge playing time and huge production. Not huge, but pretty strong production. 22 points, 3.5 rebounds, nearly 3 assists, 1.5 steals as a median projection against a Milwaukee team who has been so-so league average in defensive rating and net rating over their last 10 games. Obviously, that goes down a little bit with Holiday ruled out in this game. We need about 40 to 45 points to feel really good about Dillon Brooks in an optimal lineup. He's getting to 45 points in 10% of our simulations, really higher than expected for me, and he's getting to 43 points, that GPP goal to be exact, in 14% of our simulations. A third of the time, Dillon Brooks gets correlated with a large Giannis ANTETOKOUNMPO performance, and he's in the optimal lineup 33% of the time. Now, before I reveal my final play, my number 1 play on DraftKings for this Saturday slate, just want to remind you guys, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that you always know when we're going live. You guys know what to do. And if you could give me, Matt Savoca, a follow on Twitter at Draftaholic, that would be much appreciated as well. I've loved filling in for Josh these Saturdays with these contenders videos. I know he's the GOAT. Love those comments to say we miss Josh. I miss him too. But it's really fun bringing you this coverage every Saturday here nonetheless. Also want to give another shout out to our presenting sponsor, No House Advantage. You got to check it out over there. You can beat your friends, not the house, by playing player props contests. It's 100% peer-to-peer. They've got over 500 player props offered. There's big prize pools, mass entry capability, all the stuff that you love about DFS sites, but a new way to play with player props contests. Use promo code Awesemo. Get that first match deposit bonus up to $25 and start winning over there. Okay, guys, let's get into my number 1 play on DraftKings for this Saturday slate. At number 1, it's Memphis point guard TYUS Jones. Again, the Awesemo projections taking a stand here with this Memphis-Milwaukee game still being competitive and likely high scoring, at least from a fantasy scoring perspective. I'm not sure I want to play a ton of lineups with Jones, Brooks, and ANTETOKOUNMPO, but it's not out of the question at all. Obviously, Jones and Brooks are players that can help you get to premium salaries, but they have solid median projections and solid ceilings themselves. 32 points as a median projection at the point guard position at just 5,100 in salary. That's good enough, and a solid 10% chance. Again, we're looking for those 10% chance players of scoring 45 fantasy points, because if he gets there, that's how a player like this ends up in the optimal lineup. Nearly 14 points, nearly 4 rebounds, and 7 assists in 32 minutes of play, which is way more than what he typically plays. Obviously, the injuries play a huge part in that. No Morant means Jones is going to have to run the point way more often, means way more usage. So, hey, it could absolutely happen here. He's not my favorite play overall on the slate. Obviously, I'm looking at the superstars, but if you're looking at optimal lineup percentage, nobody looks better. He's our number 1 play in that optimal lineup 35% of the time. And that is going to do it for my top plays on DraftKings for Saturday, March 26, 2022 in the NBA. If you're looking for the FanDuel version of this video, it's around here somewhere. Go ahead and look for it on the channel. We will be back, and Josh will be back, covering all of the NBA leading up to tip-off tonight and every day, as we do here at Awesemo.com. Keep it posted right here. That's why you got to hit that notification bell. Until next time, I'm Matt Savoca. We'll see you guys later.